Nathan Oakley was one of the first content creators that I ever discovered, and I spent a lot of my time in the early days debunking him and his cronies. However, he has since almost fallen into oblivion regarding YouTube, so I thought I'd go back and see what he's up to. And he is literally doing the exact same thing. And one particular video caught my eye, one in which he thinks scientists debunk the moon landing. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, a quick word from the sponsors of today's video, Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is what you get if you cross a blockbuster movie with a AAA game and squeezed it into a mobile phone. It's revolutionary. Now, I've not been playing it for long, but I'm already hooked. So here are my champions. I've already leveled up a few of them, and my absolute favourite thing to do is the campaign. I really enjoy working my way through the levels and actually making progress in games like these. Here I am dishing out some pain and destruction to the bad guys. Awesome stuff. Then, once I've dispatched with a few enemies, I can go back to the tavern and upgrade some of my lower ranked champions. And Raid has got something extra special happening right now. They've released a legendary champion based off MMA and pro wrestling legend Ronda Rousey. Yes, the Ronda Rousey. You can get Ronda for free right now, whether you're a new or long time player, just by logging into Raid. All you've got to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and February the 20th, and Ronda is yours. That's all there is to it. To celebrate Ronda's arrival in Raid, you can use the special promo code RAIDRONDA, available for all users, new and old, to get a bunch of helpful stuff, like a 3-day 100% XP boost, 500k in silver, and 5 full energy boosts. Perfect for leveling your Ronda up so she's at the top of her game. Hey buddy. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get exclusive rewards in Raid right now. Also, if you haven't started playing Raid yet, you can click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen and you'll get unique bonuses worth $30. Right, back to today's video, which shows Nathan Oakley trying to show us that real scientists, actual scientists, are debunking the moon landing. I know what you're thinking. They probably aren't, but let's give them a chance. Away we go.
Issues that bring us here.
We're all familiar with the Earthrise photo, right? The Earth is rising over the moon. We're all familiar.
No. That was claimed to be taken from a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum, where the astronauts claimed to be walking on the moon had to protect themselves with suits from the sky vacuum so that the gas inside their suits didn't vacate and fill the space.
So, Nathan likes to use the second law of thermodynamics, which states that entropy will always increase over time. Entropy is basically order turning into disorder. So, regarding the second law of thermodynamics, if we can imagine a cup of coffee, that cup of coffee will get colder over time as it sits there. That's entropy. Now, Nathan thinks that the Earth cannot have an atmosphere because of this law of science. Basically, he thinks that the gas in the Earth's atmosphere should be filling the void of space based on entropy. However, the entropy of gases isn't quite the same as entropy regarding the second law of thermodynamics. And Nathan, of course, doesn't think that gravity is a thing, which is the reason why our atmosphere stays on our planet.
Now check out this picture. That's a black area that the guys on the moon claim to be standing on the moon have got to protect themselves from. They don't want the gas inside their, what do they call them? Astronaut suits, space suits. They don't want the gas to expand outwards into this vacuum, this black area.
Well, actually, if Nathan had actually bothered to look under the photo, it states that this photo was taken from Apollo 8. And he would have known that this meant that they would not have been wearing those sorts of spacesuits because they didn't land on the moon in Apollo 8.
Now look back, even at this distance that they claim Earth is, and say, is that clouds that I see next to a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum?
Actually, the vacuum between the Earth and the moon is only about 10 to the minus 11 torr. And that's not a negative number, by the way, just a very small one. The 10 to the power of minus 17 torr is the vacuum for deep space.
Don't high-pressure clouds expand in all directions to fill whatever availability of volume they've got if there was a low-pressure system, aka a vacuum, 10 to the minus 17 torr next to them? I'm pretty sure I know what happens when you put any gas next to a vacuum. It expands into it immediately.
Yes, because if you have a vacuum here on Earth, you have the entire weight of the atmosphere trying to push that air into it because of gravity.
That's what gas does. So you're telling me that we've got this gas just happily sat next to a vacuum? No, that's a second law of thermodynamics violation. The gas would fill the space.
So Nathan is happy that the second law of thermodynamics is a thing, but gravity isn't. How are those cherries tasting, Nathan?
All of this gas on this bullshit picture from a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum would fill this area instantly. It wouldn't develop pressure. What's it pressing on? The vacuum? No, it would expand into the vacuum. It'd all be dead if this was a real image. So I don't know why we're being shown this. We've already debunked it. And had this been our conversation with these people, we'd point out that why would you expect this to be a real photo taken from a place that isn't real?
Except it is real, as is every other photo taken from space, including one every 10 minutes from the Himawari satellite.
You can't take pictures from Narnia. This is a second law of thermodynamics violation. How can you have gas pressure without a container? If the sky was a vacuum, as this picture's alluding to, then the gas we're breathing would fill this space.
Our survey said...
Well, as I said, gravity keeps our atmosphere on the planet. And one of the side effects, if you will, of this is that the atmosphere actually has a pressure gradient. The air pressure decreases as you go further up. And you can't dispute this one, Nathan. You yourself spent years flying around the world as a sales rep. You'll know more than anyone the havoc that it can cause with your ears. In fact, my ears are still buggered after skydiving. Going from 15,000 feet to 0 feet in a matter of minutes is not good for them.
Familiar with it. As a NASA, you can go out to the NASA site, you can download the original, right?
Download the originals? No, you can't. The originals aren't real. They're all fake.
Even though he has no proof for this.
Because it's claimed to be a picture from a sky vacuum. Yeah, I've just debunked that. No, it isn't like whether or not you can get credible downloads. It's about whether or not you can take pictures from sky vacuums. You can't. They aren't real. Anybody just pick up on the fact that we've just debunked the entire moon landing? Schlat. Bye-bye moon landing.
Yes, the arrogance is almost palpable, isn't it? Nathan thinks he has debunked the entire moon landing by saying some big scientific words and topping them with a premium order of word salad.
Now, just for anybody out there that's just unfamiliar with this methodology, you can sit around talking about whether or not flags are flying in a sky vacuum. You can talk about whether or not they had errors and issues with the journey in a sky vacuum. You can talk about the rockets taking off from the ground and their weight and their distance and pushing off with thrust in a sky vacuum. Or you could just point out that it's a violation of natural law. We have entropy law.
Natural law? Is gravity a natural law, Nathan? Ah, yes. Yes, it is. So a natural law violates a natural law, does it? You see the problem there?
Yeah, gas expands to fill space.
Here on Earth, yes.
And what do you know? The area they claim this black area is around the sphere Earth taken from the moon is called space. What, a space for the gas to fill? Yeah, that's natural law. That's what it does. And that's what it would do if we were just suspended in a vacuum. We're not. Ergo, these pictures aren't real.
Why then, Nathan, do we have an atmospheric pressure gradient? What is the natural process here on your flat Earth that causes that? I'd love to hear your reasoning.
And neither is the moon landing.
And how are they going to invoke orbital mechanics for flying these rocket ships into a place that doesn't exist without an R value to insert into the orbital mechanics?
Right, a weak-ass argument they used to have was that they managed to calculate the fuel rate. Not without R. Even that weak-ass claim that doesn't prove a damn thing is debunked, Neil deGrasse Tyson. You'll need R if you're going to claim presuppositional orbital motions and sky vacuums in violations of natural law to give you distances to calculate fuel for. You'll definitely need R for that. And we've debunked the R value. If the Earth was a sphere radius 3959, then every distance to the horizon could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's eye in feet, and we have imagery that shows the horizon beyond the geometric limitations of an Earth sphere radius 3959.
But we have an atmosphere, so you have to take refraction into account. No one ever sees a geometric horizon. Look at your black swan photo. The state of the refraction going on there. And then every other time someone has taken the same photo, oh, look at that.
Reaction from globe believers. It's refraction. Ergo, you cannot get or acquire a geometric measurement of a claimed to be sphere with a claim to be sphere-edge horizon that's not blocking things in the distance to give you geometric measurements of R. So you don't have an R. There's no way of measuring it. See my discussion on Charles' neutral channel where I left my mute button to make damn sure he was aware that he was lying when he told his audience, well, we don't really need R, after we debunked your methodology for measuring it.
They figured out R almost 2,000 years ago, Nathan. They were infinitely more clever than you are.
You definitely need it. You just can't use it if you can't measure it. So no, you're not going to calculate any travel to the moon based on fuel through a sky vacuum when we can debunk every aspect of the journey and the maths to claim the distance.
I already know what you're going to ask.
So you bring up the luminance on it, and you can see where it's cut out and pasted there.
They're showing us doctored images that are clearly doctored.
Who cares? You want to focus on the photography? Focus on the sky vacuum.
And Nathan, who loves the sound of his own voice, will ramble on for another 5 minutes here. I think we're done today. Well, there we go. An interesting look at Nathan to see that he is still spouting the same old rubbish, just to a lot fewer viewers. Shame. But we are all done and dusted for another Tinfoil Tuesday today. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do consider hitting the subscribe button and hitting the like button as well. Let's do a challenge. Let's see if we can get this video to 50,000 likes. How about that? That's the challenge. We do that and I will auction off the Nathan bust. There we go. Just enough time to once again thank Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today. Remember, if you've not played it yet, click the link in the description or scan the QR code, which is right there, to get unique bonuses worth $30. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great week, and I'll see you all Friday for Flat Earth Fail Compilation 43. See you then.